Today I'd like to address a question that's been bothering me for a while. Um, what makes somebody female? You hear a lot about labels and trying to put people into certain categories, and I'm the type of person who can't stand to be labeled myself, and therefore I hate to label or categorize or stereotype people. But I guess when it comes to male or female, that's about the most basic label you can come up with. It gets you down to your core. And there's been several times lately where I've been made to question what makes somebody female, what makes me female. Um, I have quite a few friends and acquaintances who are transsexual women, and some of their views on what makes a woman really bother me, I guess. Um, and even more so people who aren't my friends that maybe I've come across some of their views on what makes a woman really makes me question, well, geez, what makes me a woman? I definitely do not believe it's your physical anatomy that makes you a woman. I've come across many people that are, again, transsexual women who you talk to them and you're like, oh my gosh, you don't have any question that you are talking to a woman. And I guess that's something, as a woman myself, dealing with many women in my life, you just kind of know, hey, that's a woman you're talking to. They think, they act, something in their brain is wired as a woman. Other transsexual women, you're like, I don't know, maybe they're confused, and a lot of people who are confused, they just don't come across that way. And they're typically the ones, the confused ones, that seem to try and overcompensate with some kind of, in my opinion, fucked up 1950s version of what a woman is. When I see women today, we are not June Cleaver. We don't stay home and raise the kids and wear our little dresses and aprons and cook and bake and all that jazz and let a man control our lives. Definitely not the typical, and I guess I'm kind of going stereotypical now, but even, I have a lot of friends that are stay-at-home moms, and the stay-at-home mom of today is not the stay-at-home mom of yesteryear. She's out there, she's doing the baking, she's raising the kids, but she's also involved in charitable work or, running the kids' soccer league and really a support for her husband. She's doing more controlling of the household. She's the manager of the household while the husband's out there working because, face it, in today's society, most of the time you do need the two incomes. And if you're lucky enough not to have that situation, the spouse that's working usually is going to be working a lot, and the woman's home to really take care of all those things at home that the other spouse, the husband can't. And I just see a lot of transsexual women saying that, well, personally me, I'm not the type of girl who wears high heels all the time and dresses and makeup and all that. Not that I don't occasionally do those things, but it's just not who I am on a day-to-day basis. And in one of my videos, I had on a baseball cap and no makeup, and I was just kind of in a sweatshirt or whatever, just hanging out. And I got some criticism over that because that's not how a woman dresses. And I'm like, when I was born, I was a woman. My head's always told me I'm a woman. Pretty much I'm going to label myself a woman. And I'm wearing a baseball hat and no makeup and whatever. And yeah, so I'm not a woman just because of the way I dress. What I wear does not make me a woman. It's much deeper than that. And I wish I could define and say this is what a woman is. And I'm not the only one. I'm sure everybody knows women who don't necessarily dress up all the time and hang out and wear baseball hats, and it was just a really hard concept for me. I recently watched some videos that someone did here on YouTube, and it really struck me in one of the videos this person did. It's a transsexual woman, and she claims herself to be a feminist. Now, I don't claim myself to be a feminist, but to be a feminist, obviously you would need to be female, one would assume. And she goes on to talk about, how female she is and why she's a feminist and whatever. Then I was watching another one of her videos, and she was talking about why she wasn't in the Boy Scouts because she couldn't earn any badges because she was too much of a girl. And for her senior project, she did a quilting project or something when she was in high school. So that's how she knew she was a girl. For some reason, that really got my goat. I was like, okay, the stuff you do in Boy Scouts, I mean, yeah, there's some typical guy stuff, but just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't do those things, and just because you didn't do those didn't make you a girl, and just because you did quilting in high school doesn't make you a girl. Um, it just really bothered me that the same person could have such a diverse view of, okay, I'm a feminist, but let me take on these stereotypical female roles. I mean, to me, a feminist is somebody who realizes that women can do a lot. I don't want to say everything a man can do, because I mean, obviously there's things that are physically impossible, but we can do almost anything. There's not the stereotypical things that a woman or a man can do, and vice versa. I mean, look at some of the best fashion designers who do a lot of sewing. Okay, they're men. Those gender roles no longer exist, and I guess it just really irks me when people have to take the way you dress or the things you're interested in or the things you can do and use that to define gender, because to me gender is so much deeper than that. Gender is a feeling. It is deep inside you, and I guess it's harder for me to explain because I was lucky enough to be born with the anatomy that matches the mind. But I guess I've learned a lot through talking to a lot of transsexual women about the feelings and how they knew. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I think I want to be a girl today. I think I want to go through transition. I think I want to change who I am. I don't think somebody who's serious about it is actually going to go through everything you have to go through to do that. And I've seen several women transition, and the ones who were serious about it, the person they became is just phenomenal. They were living as men and just so unhappy and a little bit out there. And as they evolved into women and could become themselves, you could just see their true personality come out. I've also seen the opposite. I also knew somebody who convinced a doctor that they were transsexual and they needed to transition, and they were on hormones and they were transitioning, and they went very public about it. Actually, were on a national television program, and it was a very small town they came from. Everybody knew, very closed-minded town, no less. Caused a lot of problems for, I hate to say her because it's a him now, but her spouse, the family. It was quite an uproar. And then after about a year on hormones, she decided, oh, you know what, this isn't really what I wanted to do. It was just a passing phase, and yeah, that pretty much sucked. I just don't know why you would go through all that and put your family through that if you weren't sure. And I don't think that's the majority of trans women by any means. I think most of them know this is what they want to do, at least the ones that take the steps to actually do something, because you can sit there and talk about it all day, but until you actually take those steps, they're not easy steps to make. I have a lot of respect for trans women. I think it takes a lot of courage to be yourself when so many of us in this world don't have the courage to be ourselves, and they do take those steps. But I guess, what makes a woman is it's something inside your head that you just know that's where you belong. That's the group of people you identify with. It doesn't have anything to do with, like I said, the way you dress, what kind of activities you're into. You can be a football playing girl and you can be a ballet dancing boy. Gender isn't about those activities. It's about you, yourself, your person, your soul. Love to hear your comments on what you think makes a female a female.